For decades, people have been throwing ice on every injury they get. But why? The common RICE protocol, rest, ice, compress and elevate, has been used throughout the world for over 4 decades in the acute management of soft tissue injury. The guy who came up with RICE in 1978, Dr. Gabe Merkin, actually came out in 2015 and admitted that he was wrong and that excessively icing and resting injuries delays healing. Even so, everyone continues to use this method when the research just doesn't back it. So what should you do? What I want you to remember is peace and love. There's a great infographic below this video. P is for protection. We want to avoid injuries and movements that increase pain for the first few days to prevent further injury. E is for elevation, and we want to try and keep that limb above the line of the heart as much as possible. A is for avoid anti-inflammatories. So swelling is actually the body's way of healing itself. We want to regulate swelling with elevating and compressing the injury, but we don't want to stop it completely. Icing can be used here and there for some pain management to get you moving quicker, but excessively using this method is like cooking a frozen steak. It actually just takes longer. C is for compression. So we want to use an elastic bandage to control swelling. And E is for education. It's going to hurt for the first few days. Yes, an assessment from a health professional is warranted to exclude major injuries, but try avoid rushing off for unnecessary scans and passive treatments in the early stages, and just let your body do its thing. The LOVE part of the acronym refers to your rehab. So L is for load. So you want to slowly progress the load through the injured area as pain allows. O is for optimism. So mindset is actually a crucial component of rehab, with your outlook likely impacting the likelihood of success. Now, as crappy as an injury is, we should try and stay confident and optimistic as much as we can. V is for vascularization. So we want to choose pain-free cardio options to increase blood flow to those repairing tissues. And E is for exercise. So all rehab should involve a progressive rehab plan, helping restore mobility, function, balance, and strength of the injured area. So there you have it. Forget RICE and stick with peace and love.